I think you have to push and hold the back. Are we ready to turn it on?
Yeah, I have to say the ceremony will begin in 10 minutes.
Test, test. Here. Where's the... I don't know. Can we find somebody that knows what's going on? There he is.
Yeah, just do the 5-minute one.
That won't work.
Horse is going to sing the folded flag. Are you listening? The horse will sing the folded flag. Mama's going to be like this. The horse is going to sing the folded flag. And follow me to the follows me like this. At that time, please stand. Is he going to make sure it's on? Okay. The ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. Yeah, they're
1 minute. Please find your seats and silence all cell phones. Good morning. Welcome to the Fayetteville Lincoln County Veterans Day program. Today, we will honor the men and women who have served our great country. My name is Maria Fulton, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies today. We would like to recognize a few of our guests today. Lincoln County Mayor Bill Newman and Fayetteville City Mayor Donna Hartman. When Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner almost 200 years ago, he called America the land of the free and the home of the brave. Those words are as true today as they were then. Throughout this nation's history, American soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guard men have bravely answered the call to defend our freedom, to aid our friends and allies, and to turn back aggressors. We can never fully repay our debt of gratitude to the more of 700,000 American service members who died in the battle, or the 1.4 million who were wounded. We can, however, recognize and thank the 25 million veterans still living today. These words are inscribed on the Korean War Memorial in Washington, D.C. Our nation honors her sons and daughters who answered the call to defend a country they never knew and people they never met. Those words apply equally to many of our World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, Gulf War, and Global War on Terrorism veterans as well. They apply to today's active duty service members, tomorrow's veterans who are helping to maintain peace throughout the world. Today, it is our privilege to say thank you to all American veterans, to let them know that we appreciate them for their service and honor them for their sacrifices. The price of freedom is high. We cannot afford to forget the ones willing to pay it. Today, we celebrate Americans' veterans for keeping this nation the land of the free and the home of the brave. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand, if able, for the posting of the colors, the Pledge of Allegiance, and the singing of our national anthem. Please remain standing until the color guard has exited the gym. Parade the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Present the colors.
As you entered the room, you may have noticed a special table. It is reserved to honor our missing servicemen and women. The table is round to show our everlasting concern. The cloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their motives when answering the call to serve. The single red rose reminds us of the families and loved ones who keep the faith. The yellow ribbon symbolizes our continued uncertainty, hope for their return, and determination to account for them and bring them home. A slice of lemon reminds us of their bitter fate, captured and missing in a foreign land. A pinch of salt on the plate symbolizes the tears of our missing and their families who long for answers after decades of uncertainty. The lighted candle reflects our hope for their return, alive or dead. The glass is inverted, symbolizing their inability to share a toast. The chair is empty, they are missing. Let's pause for a moment of silence.
Taps was played by U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Larry Law. Thank you, Staff.
President Woodrow Wilson declared November 11, 1919 as Armistice Day to celebrate the ending of the Great War a year earlier at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918. To us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in service to the country, and with gratitude for the victory, both because of the thing from which it has freed us and because of the opportunity it has given America to show her sympathy with peace and justice in the councils of nations, declared Wilson. For the past 55 years, Armistice Day has been known as Veterans Day, to commemorate the heroism of our soldiers and to dedicate a day to the cause of world peace. As you celebrate this Veterans Day, we encourage you to reflect on the words of a poem by Cheryl Dyson. On Veterans Day, we honor all who answered to a service call. Soldiers young and soldiers old fought for freedom, brave and bold. Some have lived while others died, and all of them deserve our pride. We're proud of the soldiers who kept thinking of red, white, and blue. They fought for us and all our rights. They fought through many days and nights. And though we may not know each name, we thank all veterans just the same.
It is traditional at patriotic events to honor each branch of the armed services with its own service song, and for the members of each branch to stand and assume the position of attention, if able, through the duration of their song. The U.S. military consists of 6 active duty service branches and their respective Guard and Reserve units. Together, they offer a broad variety of ways to serve. At this time, our student government officers will explain the different branches and their service. The Army is the oldest branch of the military and was established in 1775. The Army is the ground force of the military. Even though there are aviation units within the Army, their main missions are on the ground, and the majority of soldiers who serve have a job related to ground forces. The Army is also the largest branch of the military. Along with active duty soldiers, the Army also has 2 reserve components, the Army Reserves, and the Army National Guard.
The Marine Corps began when 2 battalions of Continental Marines were formed on the 10th of November in 1775 in Philadelphia as a service branch of infantry troops capable of fighting both at sea and on shore. It is the Maritime Land Force Service Branch of the United States Armed Forces, responsible for conducting expeditionary and ambitious operations through combined forces, implementing its own infantry, artillery, aerial, and special operation forces. The Marine Corps' motto, Semper Fidelis, or Semper Fi, meaning always faithful, describes the Marines' commitment to each other, the organization, and our country.
The U.S. Navy traces its origins to the Continental Navy, which the Continental Congress established on October 13, 1775. The Constitution of the United States, ratified in 1789, empowered Congress to provide and maintain a Navy. The mission of the Navy is to maintain, train, and equip combat-ready naval forces capable of winning wars, deterring aggression, and maintaining freedom of the seas. The U.S. Navy also has a reserve component associated with it.
The Air Force was officially established as a separate branch from the Army in 1947. Its main purpose is to support the security of the United States through air and space exploitation. It is a main supporter of ground services by providing air support during missions. The Air Force has 2 reserve components, the Air National Guard and the Air Force Reserves.
The U.S. Space Force is the newest independent U.S. military service branch,
tasked with missions and operations in the rapidly evolving space domain. Its core mission is to deploy forces that improve the nation's defensive technology and communications capabilities, and to achieve key national objectives through military space power.
The Coast Guard is the most forgotten branch of military service. While also being the smallest branch, many people do not realize that the Coast Guard is a separate branch with active duty military members. The Coast Guard it can be called to missions under the Department of the Navy. The Coast Guard's primary purpose is to control illegal immigration by sea and conduct sea rescues. The Coast Guard also has a reserves component known as the Coast Guard Reserves.
We are so pleased and proud to introduce our guest speaker, CW5 retired Michael Keenan. Mr. Keenan is a veteran of the United States Army. He is a Lincoln County resident and currently holds the position of Director of Aviation Operations at ULISA Integrated Solutions in Meridianville, where he has been for the last 4 years. He served over 23 years active duty Army, where he earned the rank of Chief Warrant 5 Officer. He began his career in the 507th Medical Evaluation Company, where he flew UH-1 Huey helicopters and was selected to be an instructor pilot as Warrant Officer 1. After 4 years of medevac, Mr. Keenan reported the 6th Aviation Company in Italy as a UH-1 Huey instructor pilot. After 2.5 years, he was selected for and assigned to the 160 Special Operations Aviation Regiment at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, where he flew MH-47 Chinook helicopters. For over 16 years at the 160, he served as a mission pilot, maintenance test pilot, maintenance flight examiner, and standardization instructor pilot. During his time in service, he deployed to the countries of Philippines for Operation Enduring Freedom Philippines, Afghanistan for Operation Enduring Freedom Afghanistan, and Iraq for Operation Enduring Freedom Iraq, all on multiple occasions. During his service, he earned the Distinguished Flying Colors, 3 Bronze Stars, 4 Air Medals, 2 Meritorious Service Medals, 2 Army Achievement Medals, 2 Army Commitment Medals, and the Afghanistan and Iraq Campaign Medals, both with 3 Campaign Stars. Mr. Keenan is married to his lovely wife, Tricia, and they have 4 children. He holds a bachelor's degree in political science from Texas A&M Corpus Christi University and a master's degree in Aeronautical Aviation Management from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. He is an active member of the Fayetteville Rotary, the Veterans Service Committee, the Warrior Exhibit Board, the Lincoln County Library Board, the American Legion, and is the Vice President of Operations for Horsepower Therapy, a veteran support nonprofit. Please welcome Mr. Keenan.
Thank you. I'd like to meet that guy. All right, good morning. I'd like to say thank you to Mayor Newman and Mayor Hartman for coming today. Can I ask all the Gold Star families to raise your hand or stand if you could, if you're here? I'd like to recognize them and your ultimate sacrifice if you're here. I'd like to take a moment to introduce someone very special today, a Lincoln County resident, a World War II U.S. Navy veteran, Petty Officer, 3rd Class, Oliver Leslie York. Mr. York, we're honored to have you in our presence. Can I have all my Marines stand? Come on. Happy birthday. I have about 50 Marines that work for me, and they've reminded me all week that Friday they weren't going to be at work. Thank you for coming today to honor all these great Americans that are sitting here today. If they're unable to attend, please, have them in your prayers. That all serve this great nation. Normally, when I speak, I walk and I talk, and I don't have a microphone in front of me, so if I veer off, I apologize. Please give me a round of applause for the wonderful program and the kids here. They did a fantastic job. Thank you. So tomorrow's the 11th of November. It's officially Veterans Day. Many of us will resume our daily Saturday routines. We're going to grill. We're definitely going to watch some football. And we're going to enjoy the time with our families and our friends. I'm going to ask you to do one thing for me tomorrow, though. Take a few minutes out of your day and thank a veteran. Shake the hand of a veteran. Call a veteran you haven't talked to in a while. See how they're doing. Simply say hi and simply say thank you. This applies to us, too. We have to keep close to our friends. We have a lot of veterans in this county and in this country that are struggling. PTSD and depression are a real thing. Those sights and experiences that we've had, and we can't, you can't forget them. Everybody copes with them differently. So we're currently 20 consecutive years with 6,000 or more veteran suicides per year. Veterans are 57% higher risk of suicide than those people who have not served. Suicide is the second leading cause of death in veterans under the age of 45. Let's break this horrible trend. Something as simple as a smile, a thank you, a short conversation can make the world of difference for a veteran. If you or someone is struggling, reach out. You're not alone. So when we're active duty, we called it a welfare check, we called it a buddy check. Understand that world. This helps increase their security, it grows their confidence, and they want to get information in the world so they have a better understanding. The level of brain development and going on and their desire to understand what's around them drives them to ask why. But as we grow older, become more aware of our situations, start to develop a level of understanding of our surroundings and our world, we stop asking why. Why is that? As we get older, self-awareness and our sense of belonging, that begins to become part of a group becomes more important. That sense of belonging takes over. We don't want to show that we don't know the answer, that we don't understand something in front of others. We don't want to ask that stupid question. Yes, there are no stupid questions. How many times have we sat in a room or classroom or meeting and wondered, what does that mean? Or we didn't understand what was being discussed, or were afraid to ask a question or ask why. How many times have we listened to a point of view from someone who took it for the truth or a fact, when in fact it wasn't the truth or a fact? Bullfighters hate red capes. That's not true. excuse me, bullfighters use red capes because bulls hate red. That's not true. Don't swallow your gum. It takes 7 years to digest. That's not true. Taking things at face value or believing something just because some ask is, well, where are they coming from? What point of view are they coming from? What are they trying to sell? Maybe it's the cynic in me or the military that made me a cynic, but just because someone says it, I don't believe it to be true. I ask, prove it. Ask why. Why do you believe that? Why do you do it that way? Why did that happen? We have to be reawakened of our curiosity of understanding. There's a tool that you used in the military, especially in military aviation, we used was to determine the why, and it's called root cause analysis. When someone or something failed, something like an accident, a loss of equipment, loss of life, it's important to understand the cause of that, the why. What's the root cause? If we do not understand the cause, it's destined to occur again. That for us, that tool was called the 5 why analysis. What I learned later is that's nothing specific or special to the military. It actually was developed by, I want to mess this name up, Sakichi Toyoda, who's the founder of the Toyota Motor Company. So when I retired from the military and began working in the corporate world, I discovered that it was still a very important tool, a root cause analysis, to find the why. So let me give you an example of the 2 lower segments of the motor failed to prevent a leak. Why did the seal fail? That's number 3. Because the O-ring intended to compensate for variations in the seal between the segments failed to do what it was supposed to do because of the extreme temperatures. 4, why did the O-ring fail its intended purpose? Because of a known flaw with the seal. 5, why did this mission proceed with a design flaw? Well, there's a serious flaw in the launch decision-making process, including failures to adequately address problems that might require corrective action. Both NASA and Thiokol, the manufacturer of the O-ring, accepted escalating risk, apparently because they got away with it the last time. This should result in a corrective action to prevent any kind of reoccurrence. A simple acceptance of the answer, the O-ring failed, without challenge, would be left without any insight, and thus destined to repeat the failure. Challenge should be, what about the O-ring? And the response would be, well, it failed. And now we should ask, why did that fail? This is where the process usually breaks down in this 5 why process in trying to determine why a failure occurred. We become impatient. That outweighs our curiosity, and we don't want to ask those annoying, obnoxious, or stupid questions. But as you can see in the analysis, persistence reveals the fact that this was a known problem, and the mission was allowed to proceed anyway. This resulted in loss of life and millions of dollars of damage. Persistence to understand why. Do not accept because. Do not allow our impatience or to outweigh our curiosity. So let me circle back now to the beginning of the speech. Veteran suicide numbers are unacceptable. Over 6,000 each year for the last 20 years. Why are veteran suicides occurring so high? There are several ideas that are believed to be contributing to these numbers. Military culture. Military life and culture are rigid. They're hierarchical. They're demanding. And we discourage weakness, and we stigmatize mental health. There is a culture change ongoing and with mental health that is a long time overdue. However, military culture will remain rigid and demanding, and it must stay that way. The reintegration into society, into civil society. We in the military have our own language, our own habits, our own history, which becomes largely irrelevant when we move out into the civilian world. A lot of us are forced to completely reinvent ourselves and understand people that don't even understand us. This is the main reason that we seek out or socialize in organizations like the VFW and things like that. That sense of belonging. The moral injuries of war the damage to the soldiers' sense of goodness and humanity as a result of what we have done or what we witnessed. The change in the nature of war, IEDs and traumatic brain injuries. IEDs produce a level of fear and vulnerability in individuals. This, along with the war and the policing efforts and the way they're run and the way that soldiers are put into situations, it compounds it. Medical advancements increase the survival rate and increase the return to the battlefield. Additionally, there's an increase in the number of those surviving that in past wars would not have survived. Lack of public support. We live in a world of rapid information flow. Popularity and support diminish quickly, even though the conflict or the combat actions continue. Imagine for a moment what public support would look like if World War II was fought today. We need the support of those we defend. Pre-existing mental health. All of the above are so compounded with there's a pre-existing mental health condition and not identified and let go untreated in the military environment. Every suicide has a different why, a different chain of whys to understand the root cause. However, we must analyze the past events in order to prevent the future occurrences. Ultimately, these tragic strategies or statistics can be narrowed down to mental state or mental health. Perceived loss of identity, the perceived inability to belong or fit in. Outcome. The American Legion, the VFW, the Marine Corps League, to name a few, provide a camaraderie, order and structure and belonging that many veterans miss when they get out of the service. These foster trust and open the avenues of communication. Other organizations provide common interests focused on veterans that in fishing, custom car building, hunting, cycling, just to name a few. Those common bonds, the dropping of barriers, and the opening of the communication is key to the healing. Being able to talk to someone that's been there and done that chewed that same sand, seeing that they are not alone, and that people do care, that it's okay to ask for help. So in closing, let me amend my request of you. Let's honor our veterans every day. Let them know we appreciate their service to this great nation. Let them know that they have friends and family that love them and care for them. Let them know that they are not alone and it's okay to ask for assistance. God bless our veterans. God bless our active warriors. God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Keenan, for your service and taking the time to share your story with us.
Now, taps will be played by U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Larry Law. The LCHS choir will now sing the Folded Flag by Joseph Martin. Immediately following, our combined band will play God Bless America. At that time, please stand if you are able and remain standing for the closing prayer.
free.